It's day 3 of Inktober, and the prompt for today is boots. Well, for this one, I went a bit freestyle, as you will see later on in the video. Why I went freestyle when I said that I will be maintaining a theme? Well, hear me out. The theme is maintained in terms of the character. It's just about the posing and the location, which is different. I'm still maintaining the character which I created for this Inktober. So, welcome to the channel and to another video. Grab a cup of coffee, get your favorite snacks, and enjoy the video. Going freestyle with this illustration actually was a result of getting inspiration from this beautiful pose which I found on Pinterest. I'll make sure to link that in the description of this video. Now, taking reference, as I've said in one of my previous videos, I mean multiple of my previous videos, is really important, especially if you're going to refer a complex pose, if you are going to refer some type of visual imagery such as clothes or plants or any kind of such subjects. Taking reference for poses is really very important because the fact that knowing about the human anatomy, knowing everything about the human anatomy takes a lot of time. And if you want to master that, you really need to devote time exclusively to studying human anatomy. An easier solution to this problem is taking reference from good pictures. When you take reference, you are actually looking at how the human form is bending, how it is contorting to these different poses, these different positions, and you are able to draw them. So taking reference for making human figures, for drawing human figures is very crucial. Now, getting a good reference which suits your purpose, which will suit your idea or your vision for the illustration you are planning, can be difficult. And under these conditions, what you can do is you can create your own references. I've done this multiple times and I follow this especially for drawing hands and feet. What I do is I'll just stand up, position my hand in a particular orientation, in a particular pose which I want to draw, click a picture of it, and I'll use that as my reference. I'm telling you, there can't be any better reference than this. Especially if you keep in mind direction in which the light is coming in your room or wherever you are clicking the picture, you can actually get a very accurate representation of your hand, of your foot, of your head in a very particular lighting condition which will suit your needs. So not only will it act like a pose reference for you, it will also act as a lighting reference for your image. As you might have seen in the first video, if you have not seen the first video yet, I'll link it in one of these cards. You can go and watch. But wait, you can watch it after this video. You know about the procedure. I do a pencil underdrawing followed by erasing it such that it becomes very, very light, and then I proceed with the inking. As I'm erasing graphite from the paper and I'm making it lighter and lighter, what I also start planning is how my final line work will be. Especially in this case, since he is in this sort of highly contorted pose, what is really important is how his clothes, how these boots, they are behaving, how they fold, how they contort to his body shape, to his body posture. Now, this is very important if you are trying to make illustrations which are believable, because the way a shirt or a jacket or a pair of trousers will behave when you bend your hands, your body, your legs, it will be different in each and every scenario. It is pretty unpredictable, but there are also certain patterns to this very same thing. Finding this pattern, learning how it actually works, how clothes and drapery actually works, is very important if you want to make believable illustrations. It's the same thing to be said about them as well, is that you need a vast visual library. Having this visual library will help you in determining what type of drapery or clothes you are planning on using on your character and how they are going to behave. Along with this, you also need to have a good idea about the real thing. Look at yourself in the mirror, bend your arms, bend your legs, bend your body into different positions, and look at how your clothes are behaving. For example, this is one which will be applicable to this illustration as well. If I'm wearing a loose-fitting pair of trousers and I really contort my knee, I bend my knee to a very sharp angle, what will happen is the cloth of the trouser, it will start stretching on my kneecap region, and it will form these wrinkles just behind the kneecap where the leg is folding at the knee. And this is a very simple example of how clothes will behave on your body. Another more complex example is how your trousers actually sit on your calf muscle. The calf muscle is a bit protruded from the lower half of the leg, and your trouser will actually sit a bit tight and flush on the surface of this calf muscle as compared to how the trouser will sit on your heel region where the Achilles tendon is. And this is something which you might miss in daily life. But as an artist, as an illustrator, you need to look at this very small detail and you need to remember this. You need to engrain it in your mind, in your brain, that this is how a trouser will behave when I'm drawing it from an angle where the calf muscle is visible. And that is going to make that small difference and make your illustration more believable, your character more relatable. Again, it's the same thing with shoes. Shoes, boots, they are flexible. They are not made of steel. They are flexible. And I've seen this many a times. It is something which many people forget during their illustrations, is that your shoes, the shoes which you are drawing, are flexible. They are meant to bend along with your foot. As you walk, as you kick something, they will bend. And it is also something which happens with the foot. With the foot, it is easier to remember, but while making it with shoes, it becomes a bit more difficult. Again, it's different with different types of shoes as well. For example, if it is something like a steel toe working boot, obviously the tip of these boots, the heels, they will be more rigid as compared to the rest of the boot. I wear work boots myself and I look at them daily on a daily basis. So I really know how they behave, where exactly the wrinkles will fall. In a similar manner, if you wear sneakers on a daily basis, you should look at your sneakers. Just look down at your sneakers, look at where the wear and tear is, how they bend. And it is these observations in your daily life which will dictate how good your visual library becomes as you gain more and more experience as an artist. As I said before, creating your own references. This is going to be very, very helpful if you plan on making things from imagination. And as you might be knowing, drawing things from imagination is my main aim this Inktober. I'm taking reference for poses, I'm taking reference for perspectives, how buildings actually look, how persons actually look. But everything, every concept that I'm trying to draw is going to be out of imagination. If you're planning on drawing out of imagination, there will be certain poses, there will be certain positions, some type of objects which you will not find reference images for. And it is very annoying. I know it is very frustrating that you are not able to find this thing, and you might think to yourself, oh my god, how can't there be a reference image for this? It is so common, it's like so commonplace, and how come no one has taken a picture of this? And yes, it happens. It might also happen that there does exist a picture, but you are just unable to find it. As far as I have experienced it, especially if you want a reference while you're drawing from imagination, it needs to be quick. Because when you're drawing from imagination, it is these fleeting moments of time when you are actually focusing on a specific part of the image and you want to draw that. So it is in that very exact point in time when you need the reference image to be there in front of you. And that is the reason why I said that you creating your own reference images is going to help you a lot in the future as you gain more and more experience, as your demand for drawing from imagination goes on increasing. Sticking to the theme, why did I not draw this character in a more compliant kind of environment which will be suitable to this whole vibe of Inktober which I'm trying to create? Well, the reason is, as you might all know, I'm not a full-time artist. I do have a full-time job. And sometimes what happens is you might not really be in a mood to draw something which sticks to a particular theme. It can be pretty limiting. Just have fun. Showing up for these kinds of challenges matters more than how much you're actually able to adhere to these themes. I just saw this freestyle dancer making this sharp move with his his whole body contorting in this almost a straight line, his both of his legs falling in a straight line. And I was pretty fascinated. I just wanted to draw it. And that mattered more to me at that specific point of time rather than sticking to a theme. The desire to draw something, the desire to illustrate something, and that strong will to do it, I think that drives you more and that drives you farther than just having a theme you want to adhere to. So I really hope you enjoyed this illustration. For the last bit of this illustration, I'll just be quiet. I'll leave you to observe. Do let me know down in the comments how you think this turned out. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Peace.